talk sports. Welcome to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Well, these Panthers are the fourth team in NFL history to start 14-0. That's where they stand right now. Who were the others? The 72 Dolphins that actually won Super Bowl 7. Then you've got the 07 Patriots. They lost Super Bowl 42 to the Giants. The 09 Colts lost Super Bowl 44 to the Saints. So what can these Panthers do? Behind Ron Rivera, who has been marvelous as this team's head coach, all he's done is gone 18-3 in the month of December in his Panthers career. I'd say that's getting it done. In Atlanta, John, where we've got half and half, there are a ton of Panthers fans here today.
No doubt about it. These Panther fans loving what's going on in Carolina and showed up today.
Atlanta won the toss. They decided to defer. Boxer will kick it off, and here we go. Underway from Atlanta, and the Panthers will start it out on their own 20 behind Cam Newton, who has been tremendous. The first player in history, 5 straight years of 3,000 passing yards and 500 rushing yards already there. And how about his last 5 games where he's got 18 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's running for over 200 and a rushing touchdown. Not too shabby.
No, Kev, you know, and I think more emblematic than anything was that end of the game drive last week versus the New York Giants. It was as if he said, get on my back, we're going to go win this game, and that's exactly what they did.
Jonathan Stewart is inactive for the second week in a row with that foot injury, so Fozzie Whitaker starts in the backfield. They're going to give it to Whitaker, running across the 25 to see him. Good run. First down, Whitaker picks up a quick 15 yards.
Now, Kevin, you watch Ryan Khalil, the center, pull out in front of Fozzie Whitaker, the key block right there, and then Fozzie Whitaker, a smaller back, but showing that he can carry some of the load along with Cameron Artis-Payne. But Kevin, the one thing I'm thinking about, we did this game 2 weeks ago, 15 days ago in Carolina. The choice to defer yet again for Dan Quinn is one I do not agree with. This is a high-powered offense in the Carolina Panthers.
It is. Newton fires incomplete. Well, how high-powered is it, John? We've got some evidence to support. Our graphics people, Tyler Dare, doing a fine job. Carolina offense. Look at the points they scored in the last 5 games. I mean, 44, 33, 41, and 38 twice. They are the #1 offense in the NFL, and until last week when they got to that point, never in their history have they been there.
And the guy that drives it is Cam Newton. Greg Olsen having another fantastic year.
2nd and 10. Blitz coming. Newton near side. Ginn turns around. The ball's right there, and he makes the catch right around the first down marker, maybe a little short. Jonathan Stewart again inactive for the 2nd game in a row.
And this is what we've seen from Ted Ginn with 6 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks. But we've known him as a guy who can take the top off a defense, a guy with speed, but he's become a complete receiver, running all the routes and doing them quite well for the Carolina Panthers.
We have an injured Falcon. It's Paul Soliai, the defensive tackle. He's been dealing with a calf injury. Don't know if that's what this is here. Injury timeout. Panthers on the opening drive when we come back. Back from Atlanta after the injury timeout. There's Dan Quinn in his first year. The fantastic defensive coordinator last with Seattle. His team at 7-7, still with faint playoff hopes. 3rd and 1 for the Panthers on their opening drive. A pitch to Whitaker, looking for blocks, and he didn't have it initially, but he surged forward, and he's got enough for the first down.
That's tremendous effort from Fozzie Whitaker. Not big in stature, 5'10", 205 pounds. But that's just what these Panthers do. Watch him drive at contact for this first down. And Kevin, I go back to, Dan Quinn, I love everything about him. I think he's going to build something special here in Atlanta. Your defense isn't that good yet. And that's when you defer and kick off, in my mind, when you've got a stifling defense. But going against this offense with those numbers, who has a propensity to get after people early, I think it's the wrong decision, and you're not setting the tone for the game.
Cam Newton trying to set the tone. High throw, and there's his tight end, Greg Olsen, who hauls it in. Inside the 40, he's down to the 37. It's a gain of 16.
And that's some of the faith, the trust that Cam Newton has in Greg Olsen. Alford covering him well. Warlow underneath. Cam's going to throw it anyway. Very lucky. Got away with one there. Not a wise throw, but Cam Newton has been getting away with a lot this year. He's been phenomenal.
I thought that was going to sail high when he let it go, but it ended up being just fine. And now the Panthers on the move. Sixth play of this opening drive. From the 38, Newton fires a bullet far side, complete. No, incomplete. Ginn there could not make the catch.
See Ted Ginn just come up with the drop. And Kevin, you talk about negatives for the Carolina Panthers. That has been one. And part of the reason is Cam Newton throws a fastball. He throws it hard. And these Carolina receivers, Ginn included, have struggled to catch the ball consistently all year long.
Seen so many Panthers games, John. Called a couple. He goes back to get on the next play a lot after a drop. Looking, firing, and that time it's Corey Brown who's got the catch. Let's check in with Pam Oliver on the sideline.
Well, Kevin, he thought so before the blowout, but Atlanta head coach Dan Quinn is sure that his team is going to come out jacked. He thinks so because of a great week of preparation and a change in plans offensively. He said last time Atlanta got into a drop-back game, and it was a recipe for disaster. Defensively, he felt like his group came out and tried to play too hard, overly so, and lost their way.
Well, Pam, on that, this is a pretty big down. Try and stop Carolina before they keep advancing. 3rd and 1, already in field goal range. A fake, and Newton with territory to run, first down, easily for Cam Newton. John, so hard to defend. You brought it up. This entire field that these Panthers use.
And it's what the Carolina Panthers do so well. They get an unbalanced line. Everything's saying power football. They're going to come with the pull, but number one, he's pretty good with the ball in his hands. Over 100 yards last week. You have to defend the entire field against the Carolina Panthers in the run game because of his ability, in the pass game because what he's doing above the neck. He'll throw it to anyone, and he's got the arm to throw it to anyone. That's why they're darn near impossible to defend right now.
And on the opening drive, this is the 9th play for the Panthers. From the 24, Whitaker. And the carry, good hold. Fozzie Whitaker fighting through tackles, and he's down to the 15. 9 yards for Whitaker on that first down run.
Well, Kevin, you got a couple Carolina offensive linemen that are going to the Pro Bowl, and rightly so. Center Ryan Khalil, right guard Trey Turner. They're going to lead the charge out in front of Fozzie Whitaker. That's beautiful football by those offensive linemen. Not only pulling, but putting hats on hats and driving people downfield. This Carolina offensive line anchored by Ryan Khalil and Trey Turner.
Second and 1. Whitaker again, right side again, first down, and then some inside the 10. And on this opening drive, it's looking easy for the Panthers. Well, this team will run, that's for sure, and they will pass exactly 50-50 split.
Is that called balance?
I think so.
It's a beautiful thing. Ron Rivera believes in it. Our old colleague at Fox Sports, John Madden, is a great confidant for Ron Rivera. And Ron Rivera talked about that relationship with us, and he said that's one of the things Madden told him. If you believe in running the football, do it. Ron Rivera has done so.
This will be a 1st and goal from the 8. Play clock at 1. To snap it. Newton gonna run it. Look at end zone. Touchdown.
Kevin, there's science, philosophy, whatever you want to call it, behind deferring. Some people say it gains you a possession during the course of the game, but this is a different animal. And my kind of science is, number one's a really good football player, the MVP. I don't want him with the ball in his hands on the first drive because he's going to do that to you. The dual threat showing up on the first drive for the Carolina
You
Panthers.
called it right away. Now watch this. This extra point, no gimme. Graham Gano had one blocked last week. He's had 5 kicks blocked total, but that one goes without an issue. Cam Newton, 11 plays, 80 yards, and an 8-yard touchdown run, his 8th of the year. Panthers 7-0. First player ever, 30-plus pass touchdowns, 8-plus rush touchdowns in a year. That was his 8th rushing touchdown. He's got 33 passing touchdowns, 41 total touchdowns for Cam Newton, most in the league.
It's been an unbelievable, and that's why I believe he's the easy choice for the MVP. He's doing historic things. He can beat you in so many ways. He's doing it above the neck too, Kevin. He's checking to a lot of these plays. They give him a lot of autonomy at the line of scrimmage.
As we fly on in and watch Gano kick it off, and Hester has no chance to return it out of the end zone. And now the Falcons trying to hold serve as they take the field behind Matt Ryan, who comes in with the 6th most passing yards in the league, and just 49 more yards will get him to 4,000 for the 5th consecutive season. But for Ryan, it hasn't quite been the excellence that we're used to from him. Things have been a little bit off in this new offense with Kyle Shanahan.
And I attribute it to a couple of things. First of all, the talent level is not there yet. Yes, they have Julio Jones, Devontae Freeman, but they struggle in a lot of areas. Secondly, he's adjusting to a new system. And even the best ones struggle when you're adjusting to a new system.
Bad snap, not a good way to start. Falcons recover with Freeman. But immediately because of that, they're going to lose at least 5 yards. Jared Allen got there first.
You see a bad snap from Pearson back to Matt Ryan, and they're lucky to come up with it. You know, one of the things I asked Matt Ryan, Kevin, when we met with him was, how do you, Carolina comes at you so aggressively, and he talked about, we got to be aggressive right back. We got to counter their aggressiveness, because aggressiveness equals opportunity.
Second and 15. They'll throw it. Good pocket near side. There is White, but he bobbled and he couldn't make the catch. Charles Tillman was on the coverage. And now at 3rd and 15.
And I tell you what great teams, and I put Carolina in that category right now, do to you, they eliminate your margin for error. So plays like this with the ball in your hands, Roddy White's caught a lot throughout his career. You got to catch that, because if not, Carolina is just too good.
Julio Jones, bottom of your screen, and there is Josh Norman going up against him. Anybody talk about Josh Norman this week? I didn't hear any of it. And an incompletion on another drop. Wow. That's about as bad as you can start an offensive series. A bad snap. And now a skirmish breaks out. Flags fly. It's Roddy White and Charles Tillman, I think, in the middle of this, of all people. And I'm sure John Perry and his crew have to be on top of this after what happened with the Giants and Panthers last week.
I talked to John Perry on the field, and he talked about, they've been talked to by Dean Blandino. They're going to have a quick trigger, not standing for this, and I think they're right to do so. Kevin, I think the worst part of last week, Odell Beckham Jr. and Josh Norman, disrespectful for the game, but the officials allowing it to happen. One of those players or both should have been out of that game.
We showed you one of the parts of that right there with
the ruling
Freeman.
on the field is an incomplete pass. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 31. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Kevin, I think an interesting point. Charles Tillman came back last week from an injured knee. Roddy White cut him at the legs. Guys who coming off injured knees don't like people at their legs, and Roddy White did not stop. And so these Falcons, they were embarrassed 15 days ago. They're going to come out with some fight. Ron Rivera talked to his team about poise, and Charles Tillman, typically one of the most poised players in this league, out of character for him to lose his cool.
Yeah, Ron Rivera, I think, has a point here. He's saying, I mean, that's a tough flag on Tillman. They usually do get the second down, but White was still going there. That's a huge break after A really ugly first 3 plays. Falcons get a do-over. Here comes the blitz. Ryan going to throw it. There's White who makes the catch. I think almost looks like joint possession. If it is, it'll be the offense. So another chippy start to a Panthers game, John.
Well, look, it's a divisional game. A team was embarrassed in the Atlanta Falcons, a 38-0 loss. The Panthers understand they've got history at stake, but more importantly, they can clinch home field. So this is a very important game. Emotions are going to be running high, but both coaches have talked to their team about poise this week.
Second and 4. Oh, run it. Here's Freeman dancing, looking for some room, and fights forward for 2. For this Falcons offense, John, it's been an interesting year because they have 2 players who are just outstanding in Julio Jones and Devontae Freeman. And if you look at these numbers, they've moved the ball. They just haven't scored.
You know, Kevin, and I think this is a big part of the reason. You see the red zone turnovers. They lead the league. So when you get down there, which they move the ball, you got to cash in at least with 3 points. They've had a lot of drives that have ended with 0 points because of turnovers in the worst spot.
Atlanta has been great on 3rd down this year, 4th best in the league. This is a 3rd and 2. 4-man rush. Ryan standing in. Roddy White's got the catch across midfield. So he's going to the old veteran today, and that may pay dividends. It's a 1st down.
Well, Roddy White, he started up in the papers this week talking about Josh Norman. I don't respect him. I don't think he's that good a player. Matt Ryan, smart to go to Roddy White. Roddy White, to me, is a guy. Is he getting a little bit older? Has he lost some speed? Sure. But he's a guy who's got a spirit about him. He lifts this team when he's involved in the game plan. Of late, he's been more so.
Matt Ryan told us when he starts making plays, guys feed off it. He's got the ultimate respect, and he's got a couple catches early, including 1 drop. So after the penalty, the Falcons trying to take advantage and jump back in the game. From the Panthers, 49. Here's Freeman, and there's nowhere to go that time. Star Latulele was there, one of the massive guys inside. He and K'Wan Short. Short made the Pro Bowl for the first time. John, 10 Panthers made the Pro Bowl. You got to say they all really did deserve it.
Yeah, I look at that list, and there's not one that you say, well, that guy didn't belong over there in Hawaii. They've had a fantastic year as a team, and they've had fantastic individual efforts.
Kuechly, one of them. We get a moment, we'll show you all those guys who are going. On 2nd down, they're going to run it again. And a good run it is. Teron Ward who gets the carry.
Well, Kevin, we're talking about Julio Jones. We showed him in our players to watch. Watch this, and this is what I love about Julio Jones. The league leader in receptions, but he's not afraid to get dirty. He's not afraid to get in there, put the key block on. That's always been his MO. Not an overpowering block, but he's willing to go in there. A lot of receivers with 118 catches, they don't do that. He's the complete player.
Third and 5, blitz coming. Freeman gets by Kuechly. Devontae Freeman with a big play and a 1st down. Well, Luke Kuechly doesn't miss many tackles, but Freeman made him miss that time.
Well, you're right about that, Kevin Burkhardt. Luke Kuechly, I can count on my hand how many he's missed this year. But Devontae Freeman just put it on, one of the best defensive players in football. And he's got that kind of stop, start, strength combination that makes it really hard for even the best tacklers to bring him down.
And so another 3rd down conversion. The Falcons have themselves a nice drive. Their opening possession. They scored a touchdown in the opening possession last week for the first time all year. From the 31, this is Freeman. Maybe a yard, not much against this Carolina defense. Came in 3rd overall in yards allowed per game.
Kevin, you go back, and we talked about how out of character that was, and who knows whether it was the right call. The fact is, the call was made, and that's given the Falcons life. They were being suffocated by this defense. They started with ugly execution, but now they've got life, and Devontae Freeman's provided it.
Charles Tillman back for the second week from that knee injury. Julio Jones, top of your screen against Josh Norman. 11th play of the drive. Ryan fires. There's Julio Jones, his first catch. And he's taking on all Panthers to get down to the 25 with the Julio chant starting. John, Julio Jones has had some season. Another Pro Bowl for him. Choja leads the league in catches just behind Antonio Brown in receptions. Got an outside chance to catch Marvin Harrison's all-time record. He would need 25 catches the last 2 games.
And I loved it when you asked him about that. He said, how far am I away? He said, I believe him because he's an honest guy. I believe him. I have no idea what that record is. Maybe I believe him.
Another third down for Atlanta, 3rd and 4. Late blitz, Ryan going far side. He has got a completion over there, and he goes to the tight end, Jacob Tamme. 3rd straight 3rd down conversion for the Falcons on this drive.
See Jacob Tamme just go to the flat and beats Roman Harper out to the flat. Jacob Tamme, very sure-handed, has had a really productive year for these Atlanta Falcons. Matt Ryan has enjoyed throwing the football because he's always where he's supposed to be, and he catches it when you throw it to him.
Falcons go jumbo formation here with Freeman the back, and another first down. Freeman up the middle, not much. John, one thing against Jacksonville last week, you know, they kept running Atlanta, and they didn't have great results, so their yards per carry were under 3 per carry, but they stayed with it.
And it's a great point, Kevin. And, you know, I talked to Matt Ryan about that. I asked him, why is balance so important for this team? And Matt Ryan didn't say this, so I don't want to put words in his mouth. But he said, when we run the football, it takes the pressure off a lot of people on our offense. To me, translation, he's talking about their offensive line. They aren't great pass blockers. And when they get in a drop-back game where that's what they're doing, they're going to get overpowered. So the balance slows down the defensive front and really is necessary for this team to be successful.
14th play of the drive for the Falcons on a 2nd and 10. Ryan over the middle. He's got Hardy who leaps inside near the 10. So it's going to be a 3rd down and about 1.5 yards. John, we're about a minute left in the quarter, and each team has had the ball once here.
Well, I love the answer. Look, it wasn't pretty early, but the answer by these Atlanta Falcons. They were aided by the unsportsmanlike conduct by Charles Tillman. But then they came to life, and they needed a little break. They got it, and they're making good upon it.
So a 3rd down and 2. They bring in the fullback with DeMarco, number 42. Ryan gonna throw. He can run it if he tries. A nice pump fake. Oh, Matt Ryan with the moves. Who knew he had it in him, John?
Matt Ryan says, Cam Newton, you're not the only one that can run around and make plays, and puts it on Thomas Davis. You talk about an excellent player in space. Thomas Davis, as good as there is in the league. Matt Ryan puts a little okey-doke on him and runs right by.
Oh, that was something. He sold it. That's from playing ball in the streets of Philadelphia right there. From Matt Ryan as they line up. That'll be the end of the first quarter. Fun first quarter in Atlanta. The Panthers on their opening drive scored a touchdown, and now Atlanta trying to answer. 7-zip Carolina after 1. 2 drives in the first quarter. Carolina, 11 plays, 80 yards, and a touchdown. This will be the 16th play of this drive for the Falcons as they knock on the doorstep. The longest touchdown drive of the year, 13 plays for Atlanta. This is the longest time of possession they've had on a drive all year. Now the question, can they finish? 1st and goal from the 4.
Kevin, we documented early. It's what this team's done. They've moved it all year, but the big mistake down here, the inability to punch it in the end zone, has been their downfall. We'll see if they can change that today.
Pitch to Freeman. He's got some room. Touchdown!
Kevin, you mentioned it. They were bailed out by that personal foul. by Charles Tillman. Doesn't look like a whole lot there, but after last week, those flags are going to fly. Now watch Jake Matthews out in front along with DeMarco. The key block on Tillman. Devontae Freeman walks in the end zone for the Atlanta Falcons.
His 11th rushing touchdown of the year for Freeman. Extra point is up and good. 13 total touchdowns for Devontae Freeman. That ties him for first in the NFL. You hit it, John, the block, and then the finish. Falcons have some fight in them today from Atlanta. Well, it's the only NFL game all year where there's been one quarter and 2 drives. That's it. Each team going down the field and taking a long time to do it. But the Falcons answering after the Panthers opening drive touchdown. Devontae Freeman, 13th overall touchdown of the year with a 4-yard run. That's the first opening drive touchdown allowed by Carolina all year. So the Falcons, after getting dominated 38-0 just 2 weeks ago in Carolina, throw back a punch for the first time in this series in a while. Now we've got a game. 7-0. Thought about taking it out, but Whitaker will stay in. And so Cam Newton, determined, knows he's got a fight in his hands, trying to keep his Panthers unbeaten in Atlanta.
Well, on the last kickoff that wasn't returned, watch Eric Weems, the special teams Pro Bowler for the Atlanta Falcons. It's absolutely knocked down and knocked out by Chris Scott. Weems stumbled off the field. They brought him right to the locker room, Kevin.
Give him credit for just going in there. He gave up 135, 140 pounds in that matchup. My goodness.
There's
so
some
they check
physics
on him. Sorry, John, this is what you talked about in the opening drive. Atlanta deferring like they've done twice. So 2 weeks ago, Panthers right down the field and scored. Today, right down the field and scored. The difference is Atlanta answered back today.
Absolutely right.
Last 2 times they played, they didn't even get a touchdown. They didn't score. Only 1 field goal, so that's a big difference. And now let's see Cam Newton and company for the second time today. They're going to run it, pick up 5 yards with Artis Payne. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee for that's a lot of weirdness going on, a lot happening there. By the way, Houston is beating Tennessee 10-0, so that's in that AFC South.
I'd say Frank Gore knows Miami. Yes, University of Miami product.
Yes, he does. Newton going to throw it, and he's going to go to Artis Payne, who makes the catch. He's got a first down. Out to about the 32-yard lines, and Ricardo Allen was there on the tackle.
You know, a lot of people asking, where has Cameron Artis Payne been all year? Ron Rivera talked with us, and he said, hey, look, in the preseason, he really splashed. We got into the regular season, Jonathan Stewart kept wanting the ball, so we kept giving it to him. But they really liked Artis Payne. He showed why last week versus the Giants. He responded with a nice effort in place of Jonathan Stewart.
There is Stewart. Newton on the zone read, looking to throw it. And Kotchery with the catch, spinning around, lunging forward, dangerous. But he's up to about the 39 on that first down catch. You know, Jonathan Stewart, we just showed you. And asked Rivera about it the other day. I said, hey, is this... You know, you had said he could come back in that game when he went out 2 weeks ago. He said, look, we're not concerned. Just felt an opportunity to be smart and careful here.
Well, you know, and Ron Rivera, I think he's been really wise. They felt like they've got the best foot specialist in the league, and Dr. Anderson in Charlotte. Dr. Anderson said Jonathan can go back in, but sometimes discretion the better part of valor. They've kept him out. They're going to have a healthy and fresh Jonathan Stewart for the playoff run.
Maybe learn something about Cameron Artis Payne, their rookie, along the way. This is Mike Tolbert, not a rookie. In fact, another Pro Bowl for this man this year, and he's got a first down. Out to the 45 for the battering ram Tolbert, for Worlow brought him down.
Well, he's going over to Hawaii, too, and he's just, you know, other people have called him in as well. He's the Swiss Army knife. Whatever you need him to do, he'll do it. If it's pass block, if it's get the 3rd and 1, down by the goal line, he's a very adept wide receiving option for the Panthers. Just a great, really unique body, 5'9", 250, and if he's 250, I think he's more like 270.
So you're saying they embellished on the roster?
A little bit.
Okay. First down, Newton to throw. Pressure comes up the middle. Doesn't matter. Fires a bullet to Corey Brown. He's got a first down inside the 45. And Newton looks as fresh as ever.
Kevin, you described it as a bullet. And I got to tell you, I don't remember since Brett Favre a quarterback throwing with as much juice. That's in slow motion, folks. but he is firing these balls. Looks so good and big, his presence in that pocket, seeing the field so well.
Paul Soliai in pain. Remember, he got hurt and went out initially earlier, came back in, and now down again in some pain. Again, he had been suffering from a calf injury that he'd been dealing with coming in. Don't know if that's related. So, Cam Newton, John, we've talked about the year he's had, but when you think about Cam in December, he's Mr. December because he's 17-3 in his career in this month. Pretty impressive. And then this December, well, all he's doing, averaging 312 pass yards a game, 13 touchdowns and 1 measly interception. And then last week, becoming the first player, 300 pass yards, 5 touchdown passes, 100 rush yards in a single game. I don't know how many times I could say first player in history with Cam Newton today, but I've already done it a few times.
There's been some great dual threat quarterbacks. Steve Young comes to mind as a guy who's at the top of so many of those lists. Fran Tarkenton, Randall Cunningham, but Cam Newton, I tell you, his proficiency as a passer alone has been incredible, but then he's got that other threat. Just at times you say it's not a fair fight because he's that good.
I'm pretty sure he'd like to be known as Mr. January, maybe even Mr. February going forward. We'll see. First down for the Panthers on their second possession here in the second quarter. Big drop. Newton gets hit as he throws, lets it go. It's incomplete. He had some pressure that time. It was Rashid Hageman.
Rashid Hageman is a guy, you see spurts on film of a guy that can just flat out dominate people, and you're going to see him right here, just pure power, walk Andrew Norwell back to Cam Newton. And I got to tell you, as long as you think of Tom Brady in 07, what beat him? Pass rush beat him in the playoffs by Michael Strahan and company. As great as quarterbacks are playing, their kryptonite is pass rush, and Hageman just put it on.
Second down, fake to Tolbert, pressure, Cam in trouble, gets away, and now he's going to throw it away. So back-to-back plays with good pressure that time. Jonathan Babineau got some push, but then he got a lot of help.
It's been something, frankly. You see Soliai walk out to the locker room, but the pass rush, the least sacks in the league here in Atlanta. So this is a positive sign to see this pass rush start to come alive. Brian Cox, their D-line coach, working tirelessly to try to generate that pass rush, and it's showing up.
Panthers 2 of 2 on third down in this game. There's Brian Cox coaching those defensive linemen. Third and 10. Newton coming near side high, and it's incomplete. It was looking for Corey Brown. And so the pass rush, first couple plays, threw Carolina off, and now they've got a punt.
And that's exactly right. Those hits, they accumulate, and they have an effect, and it's a cumulative effect. So you hit Cam Newton a couple times, his accuracy is going to be affected. He's human. I know folks think he's Superman, and he's played like it this year, but he is human.
So Brad Nortman will punt it away to Devin Hester. Hester missed most of this year with a toe injury, and quite frankly, he's not 100% healthy yet. That's why he's not playing offense. Hoping to get something from him here today. It was a good high kick, though. And a fair catch called for by Hester. And so with 11:08 to go in this first half, we've got a 7-7 game. Falcons football. A 7-7 score from Atlanta. And Cam needs new headgear. He'll just cool it off. The cool towel on there. So the second time the Falcons will possess the football. And they go with the fake to Freeman. Ryan's got time here, coming deep near side. It's Julio Jones who's got the grab. And he's out to the 32.
Hey, Kevin, this is what speed does. Watch at the top of this route by Julio Jones. And watch the way he sells. He's going deep. I thought he was going deep, and then he puts the brakes, and Josh Norman flies right by. That is tremendous route running by a tremendous player.
He had 4 catches, 33 yards 2 weeks ago against Carolina. He's got 2 for 24 here on the start, and a pickup of 19 and some movement. And the signal is on Carolina.
Encroachment, defense, number 98, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Take a look at Matt Ryan after this last throw. He's brought to his knees by something. I don't know quite what happened. He's holding that side. We'll keep an eye on that.
Falcons have already had a couple injuries in this one today. We'll check in with Pam after the play to find out what's going on there. Good start from Matt Ryan and company. First down and 5 after the penalty. Fake the run, blitz, look out. And Ryan just throws it at the legs. Incomplete. But we'll look at this. And they rule immediately incomplete pass. Question is, was anybody even remotely there for Atlanta? I'm not so sure. Ron Rivera saying that's got to be grounding.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete forward pass. There is no foul for intentional grounding. Number 80 was in the area.
There's Toilolo right there. Good call by John Perry. You know what I liked about it, Kevin? He was definitive. John Perry got in there, called incomplete, no intentional grounding. It can't be for the ball not getting back to the line of scrimmage either because it tipped off Thomas Davis. So I think John Perry on that. Matt Ryan bum rushed by Thomas Davis.
Tell you what, that was a pretty alert play. That was a monster loss on that sack. And so instead it's just incomplete. 2nd and 5. Fake the run again. Blitz coming. Ryan steps away from a couple defenders, but not the next, as he gets sat on there by Kawan Short, who is becoming a monster. His 10th sack of the year.
And Kevin, there's been a lot of talk about Matt Ryan hurting, but the fact that the ends for the Carolina Panthers haven't had sacks of late, Charles Johnson and Jared Allen. But watch Charles Johnson. He sets up this sack. Going to beat Toilolo, makes Matt Ryan step up along with Shaq Thompson, and Kawan Short there to finish it off.
Well, there's no question something's wrong with Matt's side. And now after the sack, a 3rd down and 12. Blitz again. Ryan steps up, throws. Julio Jones got it, and he's got enough for a first down. He sprinted by Kuechly and then a face mask to boot. Or maybe a horse collar at the end, excuse me.
Julio Jones, we've seen him. He can go up top. He can run the comebacks. He'll also do the dirty work.
Horse collar tackle, number 59, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
You see Kuechly get a hold of that jersey and shoulder pad area and pull down. And Matt Ryan continues to hurt, but he's delivering throwing the football.
Bottom line is the Falcons moving the chains again. On 3rd down today, they're 5 of 6. And on the one they didn't convert, they got a 15-yard penalty to pick up a first down. From the Carolina 38, they'll pitch it to Freeman. Cuts back his field, but nice pursuit. Shaq Thompson all over that for a loss. More on the injuries. Let's go down to Pam.
Well, Kevin, it looks like we'll be keeping an eye on Matt Ryan as well. And you saw Eric Weems as he struggled to get to the locker room after that vicious hit. While Weems is being evaluated for a concussion, as he was led away, he challenged the medical staff. I heard him asking why he had to leave. Meantime, nose tackle Paul Soliai, he could be done for the rest of the day. Couldn't even walk with his calf injury. We'll keep you updated on that, but it's not looking good.
All right, Pam, thank you. 2nd down and 12 after the nice play from Thompson. Ryan going to fire far side. Hardy incomplete. Good coverage from Tillman. And now a 3rd and long is coming up.
You know, Kevin, we've seen the last couple of plays the Falcons put Julio Jones in the slot. Josh Norman, a very good corner. He's had a great year. So a really effective way to get Josh Norman off him, put him in there at the slot. And if they're in zone defense, he can work against those linebackers of Carolina. Here he goes in the slot again.
There's Jones on the move, number 11. Now bottom of your screen. 3rd and long. Ryan coming to Julio. Makes the catch and then dropped it. Incomplete. And he points to Matt Ryan saying his fault. He hasn't dropped many, that's for sure. But that's actually a big drop. Could have had a field goal chance, but now this is just too far for Shane Graham. They'll punt it.
Julio Jones going inside where Luke Kuechly lurks, and he felt that presence. What you love about Julio, just what you said, pointed right away at Matt Ryan, said that's on me.
And so each team on their second possession has the drive stalled. And Matt Bosher will punt it away to Ted Ginn, who waits back at his 10. Ginn waits for fair catch right around the 15. And he makes it, and that's where the Panthers will take over. Julio Jones with a rare drop, and yeah, he was bummed about that. 7-7 game from Atlanta. Well, Cam Newton undefeated this year, 14-0 at Auburn. He did the same thing, 14-0, first ever. Unbeaten, 14-0 in the FBS and in the NFL. They're not bad. Heisman Trophy, national title, number 1 pick, 14-0. You know, pretty good resume.
He did it in junior college as well. I mean, the guy wins every place he goes, and you can see why with his talent, and he just has that competitive nature that makes him a special player.
Tie game with the Falcons, though, as Newton playing in his hometown. They're going to run it, and up the middle for a short gain is Artis Payne. You know, this Artis Payne, John, we talked about Jonathan Stewart being hurt, and, you know, last week got his chance. You know, he came in against the Giants and did a nice job, especially in the second half in that game, 59 yards rushing. He led the SEC in rushing at Auburn last year, and actually a couple of years he was at junior college, Allen Hancock College in California, 43 touchdowns in those 2 years there. So, okay, he's had some pretty good experience. And we'll try it again, and that looks pretty good, too. Artis Payne. They're going to mark him down at the 49. It's a 31-yard run, his longest in the NFL.
And Kevin, Ron Rivera told us one of the things they loved about him. He reminded them of D'Angelo Williams with the burst. He's wearing the number, and he's got that same burst. He hits it, makes a miss, and then he puts on that burst. And they thought it would be a great compliment to Jonathan Stewart. It hasn't worked out as a two-headed monster because Stewart has been so productive, but Payne showing that he's got talent as well.
Ted Ginn is injured, laying on the turf here in Atlanta. Trainers out. Get you an update when we come back. 7-all game.
Well, here on that last play, Ted Ginn doing the blocking. And I believe what happens, that kick right there to the left leg of Ted Ginn, they come out, they check him. The great news is he ran off the field.
This is when he got up, and obviously for Carolina, that's the one thing. Hopefully he's all right. You know, get to this point, they're 14-0. They need one more win to clinch home field throughout the playoffs, but hey, he's so worried about getting these big guys hurt these last couple games. Here's Newton looking to throw, trying to work it into a tight window to Funchess, and he couldn't do it. Incomplete.
Funchess was working against Robert Alford, and Alford struggled mightily 2 weeks ago against the Carolina Panthers, but really came back last week versus the Jacksonville Jaguars with a strong effort, and the coaches were excited about that. He's got a lot of talent, does Robert Alford, and you see Ted Ginn up and walking.
So a second down, that's good news for Ginn, walking, not being attended to by trainers. There's their Pro Bowl center, Ryan Khalil. Zone read, and Newton's going to throw out of it. And there's Cotchery, and he's going to be right around a first down. He should have it. Explain to me how you try to defend that thing.
Well, Kevin, this is what I'm talking about making you defend the whole field. They've got answers for everything. Okay, first of all, it's going to be a zone read. Cam Newton reading this guy, O'Brien Schofield. He crashes down, so he's going to pull it. Then 37, we go to 37. He's going to charge. Now I'm going to dump it out to Cotchery. These are college plays, but the key is not the play. It's a great design. The key's number one because he's so talented. They have to respect everything he shows you.
fifth play of the drive, and now movement. And some trash talking going on here. Rashid Hageman and Trey Turner. Turner going to the Pro Bowl, their right guard.
It's a good depiction. I remember those days. Played with guys like Warren Sapp.
Offense number 70. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Great job by our audio folks giving you the conversations going on there.
The incredible thing, it was all clean.
It was clean. Jeff Cohen and audio sweating profusely, hoping that would be the case. But he got off the hook. So, 1st and 15 is Dan Quinn's Falcons really hanging in. Quinn told us the last time they met 2 weeks ago, he said, the one thing that ticked me off more than most is we lost our poise. Not today. First and 15. Newton hangs in, coming near side. There's Greg Olsen who makes the catch, but he's tackled immediately by Justin Durant. So going to pick up 5. Get back to the original line of scrimmage.
Well, Greg Olsen, such a key to this offense. Cam Newton values him and draws so much attention right there. It's just a really good tackle in space by Justin Durant. But Greg Olsen never comes off the field, does it in the run game as a blocker, does it in the pass game, has wide receiver type talent as a receiver. Really special player.
Think about this for Olsen, John. You know, he's getting better as he's getting older. He's 30 years old now. He's only the 7th tight end in NFL history with back-to-back 1,000 seasons. That's pretty incredible. 2nd and 10. Newton pocket breaks down, but there's Fozzie Whitaker and gets tripped up. That's a heck of a play by Nate Stupar, because that could have gone for some big yards.
Stupar stepped in for Paul Warlow, who was injured last week, and really shined in Warlow's absence, and he's shining right there. Just a great play. Taking the fight to him, not sitting back, and making a play. Really nice by Stupar.
Ted Ginn is back in the game for Carolina, number 19, bottom of your screen, so that's great news for them. Here, a 3rd down and 8. Newton gonna throw, looking around, maybe run, and can't wrap him up. He's still going, fighting forward, and he's close to a first down. He's like a Mack truck. And now the spot. My goodness.
This is the NFL. You're not supposed to be able to do that. The old saying, a man amongst boys, unbelievable. They are tattooing Cam Newton, but he carries them close to that first down.
And now you see Newton talking. There's been a lot of chatter here between these two teams. Watch this.
Watch this effort. Still falling forward. Unbelievable.
Cam has a right to be mad there. What's Phillip Adams doing? And now the spot. It looks like it's going to be 4th and inches, John. He'll come out and measure, I'm assuming, here.
That's one of the plays of the year. You talk about effort, and that's what's made this team special. They got great character. What happened last week, their coach was not proud of. He doesn't want all the chippiness. He's a guy who respects the game. A little blood starting to show, but these guys play hard. They play together.
Now let's see the measurement, and we'll look at a replay, I'm assuming, to see this. Ron Rivera, we showed you, had that red challenge flag. Okay, so they are a football and a half short. Now let's see with our first down line.
Wow. That yellow line is not official, but that's the ball right there. He stretches it, and unless forward progress was ruled stop, that looks like a first down to me.
See, Rivera challenges. We're back.
You look at the right knee. This is simultaneous. There's the ball. Let's bring in Mike Pereira.
You know, I'll tell you, angles are everything, and we saw the stretch, but the right knee on the down-the-line shot makes it look like it's very close. I think since the fact they ruled it short, I'm not so sure if I'm under the hood. I'm not so sure that I change it. Again, what you can't see here, you see the knee down, but you can't see the ball.
After reviewing the play, we're going to place the ball at the 30.5 yard line and remeasure for either a 4th down or 1st down.
And I think that's the right thing to do, guys. Since they know at that spot it's going to be close, they can move it forward and then measure.
All right, Mike, thanks very much. Well, where the football is now on the field, John, it's at the 31. And just by watching, it's going to be ultra close, but I think they'll have it.
What a play, though, Kevin. That's getting lost in this.
Oh, my goodness.
He carried that whole defense on his shoulder. Unbelievable.
By the way, Riverboat Ron Rivera challenges more than anybody in the league, and he wins more than anybody in the league. He's 8 of 12 on challenges, as Dan Quinn looking on, hoping he got this one wrong. All right, so they respot it, and now the measurement. Does the trick.
Take a look at this effort one more time. This is one of those plays of the year. He's carried that whole Atlanta defense and then outstretches. Just a magnificent effort by Cam Newton.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Took on 5 Falcons, John. Leading when it's all said and done. And it's a 1st down. So Ron Rivera, the challenge magic continues. And after all that, 1st and 10 for Carolina from the Atlanta 30. 7-7 game here, 3:25 to go in the half. Cameron Artis-Payne, good hole left side. Nice move inside the 25 for Cameron Artis-Payne. Let's check on a game break with Kurt Menefee. Kurt, I'm wondering if you are going to quarterback either the Colts or the Texans, because it's just getting to that point for either of those teams. And Ryan looking on, hoping his defense can make a play. 2nd and 1 after the 9-yard run from Artis-Payne. 2 fakes all day. Now late pressure, and Newton is buried. He turned the wrong way, and Babineau and Bierman got him down.
Well, a covered sack all day long, and it's a ball that Cam Newton has to throw away. But we just saw him carry all the Falcons for a 1st down. He thinks he can get out of anything, and Babineau says not so fast and brings down Cam Newton.
That's a 16-yard loss and pushes him to the brink of field goal range as time ticking down to the 2-minute warning from Atlanta. The undefeated Panthers, not an easy one against their rivals, the Falcons, today. In Atlanta, and a good game. 7-all as the Panthers unbeaten at 14-0, but still need a win to secure home field advantage throughout the playoffs. They've had their hands full today. 3rd and 17 as we bring you into the shotgun with Cam Newton. He's got time. He's going to let it fly. Intercepted and then dropped and then recovered incomplete. After all that, it's ruled incomplete. Adams had it in his hands and then just dropped it. Looking for Corey Brown.
Well, not a smart throw by Cam Newton, but a great job of becoming a defensive back by Philly Brown, putting his hand on the ball. That will stand as an incomplete pass.
You got to make that play if you're Phillip Adams. He's still upset about that one. But the defense holds after another big pressure and a sack. And so Norman on to punt. So this Panther offense, the #1 offense in the league, averaging over 32 points per game, has found some resistance in Atlanta. Penalty here as they will take the delay. Matt Ryan will get a chance in the 2-minute offense. Waiting on the call.
Delay game. Offense. Penalties declined. 4th down.
I gotta tell you, Kevin, you gotta love the fight from these Atlanta Falcons. Frankly, just being perfectly honest, they aren't as good as the Carolina Panthers right now, but they were embarrassed 2 weeks ago, and they're fighting. Whether they can stay with it, we'll see. but they're fighting right now and playing very well.
End over end punt. Hester lets it go and down around the 1. Atlanta's got a long way to go. 1:42 to go in the half. We're tied at 7. Aerial coverage today provided by Nationwide. Love these shots. They take you inside the huddle and right on top of the action here from Atlanta. 7-7 game. The undefeated Panthers and the Falcons from Atlanta. 1:42 to go in the half. Matt Ryan today has had a nice day, and he's been tough, but he took this shot from Kurt Coleman earlier, and he's been holding his side ever since Pam Oliver checked in. The Falcons say there is no issue, and there has been no warm-up action from Sean Renfrey, the backup, so we'll continue to watch. Well, danger zone. They start from the 1. They're going to try and throw it to Julio Jones. That works. And Jones out across the 10, near a first down.
And I love that. I love the aggressiveness. Backed up, throw it to your best player. And that's exactly what Matt Ryan does to Julio Jones. Josh Norman's had a tremendous year, but Julio Jones, one of the top 3 receivers in this league. And so you got to trust him, and that's exactly what they do. They call that a now route. He bobbles it, but brings it home.
All 3 timeouts, and each team has them, and so the Falcons taking their time here. They don't want to quickly pull the timeouts and give the Panthers great field position. So they huddled, and now they'll throw it, and they've got Tammy over the middle, and he runs up to the 16, maybe the 17.
I'm telling you, Kevin, you know, one of the things that Atlanta finally got back to versus Jacksonville last week was throwing up top to Julio Jones. Josh Norman is pressing him. Josh Norman's a very good player. He can't run with Julio Jones. You put one up top, I think he runs right by him. There's that matchup.
33 seconds left. They're going to run it. Freeman gets to the 20. It'll be a 3rd down and 2. Fascinating that either team is just letting the timeouts go here, letting it run out. But consider this. 2 weeks ago, when these 2 teams met in Charlotte, it was 28-0 Panthers at the half. Little difference this time around, and it looks like each team's just going to let this thing run out and go to the break. Tied at 7. And Dan Quinn, you got to be thrilled. Meanwhile, Ron Rivera seen some things he liked, including the opening drive for a touchdown, but some things he hasn't loved today. We've got a game. 14-0 Panthers tied up with the Falcons 7-all from Atlanta. Halftime show with Kurt and the fellas from LA right now. Today's excitement is brought to you by Nissan.
Great day for football right here. Trying to go 15-0. There's only one thing standing in our way.
Newton gonna run it, look at end zone, touchdown. Pitch to Freeman. He's got some room, touchdown.
15-0. Watch his work.
And that was today's excitement brought to you by Nissan. Here at the break, 7-all. 3rd quarter kickoff is coming up as we welcome you to the booth along with John Lynch, 9-time Pro Bowl safety. I'm Kevin Burkhardt. So we have a game here. And after Carolina went right down the field on their opening drive and looked unstoppable, Atlanta's defense gotten some pressure on Cam Newton.
Yeah, they have, and I think that's the key. Look, this isn't the script that Ron Rivera had. Ron Rivera wanted to come in here. He didn't tell us this. He wanted to blow these guys out so he could pull Cam Newton and some of these guys. But they want to secure this home field. But Atlanta, they have pressured Cam Newton. They've eliminated the throws downfield that hurt him so much the last game, and they're hanging in this game.
Yeah, they sure are. They have hung in after getting blown out 38-0 just 2 weeks ago in Charlotte, and they will receive the ball to start this 3rd quarter. Let's check in with Pam Oliver on the sidelines.
Well, Kevin, Ron Rivera told me that he knew the Falcons would come out fighting, and he's certainly seen that. Defensively, he says he calls them dumb things, like some of those penalties, especially the Charles Tillman one really bugged him. Offensively, he said, we're doing bad things, overthrows, missed opportunities, drop balls, and he wants to see that cleaned up. Meantime, for the Falcons, Dan Quinn, he said there's no injury matter with Matt Ryan. He also said Eric Weems and Paul Soliai are out for the game.
Okay, Pam. Great job. Thanks very much. That's where we are. 7-all. The Falcons, who won the toss and deferred to start, will have it here to start the 3rd. Here is Matt Ryan. And That's Freeman up the gut for a short gain on first down. So Ryan in this game, 9 of 14 for 90 yards. Freeman has the Atlanta touchdown. Well, now the question is this. After they hung in for that first half, and you see the difference from a couple weeks ago, now how do they go ahead and try and really win this game?
Well, you know where it starts, Kevin, and the difference today, why they're hanging in at the line of scrimmage. They're holding their own against the Carolina Panthers. I still think there's an opportunity up top. Julio Jones cannot be run with. I think you've got to take the shots downfield.
Jones top of your screen against Josh Norman. They'll run it again, though. Freeman runs into a wall. Nowhere to go. Thomas Davis was there first. Kuechly always seems to be in the vicinity in a third down.
That's Kevin. A couple weeks ago, we talked about how silly it was that Thomas Davis had never been selected to the Pro Bowl. He got his due this year, and rightly so. He's had a fantastic year. He's really had a fantastic career. Just one of the true good guys in our league, and one of the great players as well.
Third down and 8. Ryan looking, coming to Julio Jones, who makes the catch and breaks free from Josh Norman. And a big gain of Julio Jones. John Lynch calls and then receives a 24-yarder.
Now, Kevin, and again, it starts at the line of scrimmage. If you give Matt Ryan a firm pocket so he can step up into that pocket, he's really good thrower of the football. And then Julio Jones working over Josh Norman in space, and then not done yet.
So Jones, who had 4 catches and 33 yards 2 weeks ago, 5 catches, 76 yards here today. And let's watch if they keep going with it. Bottom of your screen is Jones. Blitz. It's picked up. Ryan, there's Jones again, and he dropped it. Oh, a second drop for Jones today.
You know, Kevin, his second drop, we saw the pass earlier down by their end zone where he bobbled it. He's winning the matchup. Now you just got to bring it home, but a really good finish by Josh Norman, getting that left hand in there to jar the ball loose, and then that right hand with the finish. Really good finish by Josh Norman.
4 drops for Atlanta today. That wasn't the easiest of catches either, but certainly one that Jones would say he wants. Nick Williams in the game at receiver in the slot. Fake to Freeman. Ryan throws it again. He's got Roddy White over the middle. And he's got a first down for Atlanta.
Well, that's called a skinny post. The route that Michael Irvin made so famous in Dallas with Troy Aikman. And Roddy White, not going to get a ton of separation, but he'll catch the ball with people all over him. He's done it his entire career. And this offense starting to go back to him a little more. And I think that's a really positive thing, to take so much of the focus off Julio Jones.
Dan Quinn told us the other day there are certain players that have to be featured in one way. Roddy White over the middle at his best. Freeman short game. But again, continuing to stick with the run.
You know, Kevin, I think one of the things that talent evaluators, coaches do is say, well, the guy's losing some speed. You know, I played against Roddy White. He didn't always have the best speed. And so sometimes if you never had it, you don't lose it. And those type of contested catches is what he's always done. And I think they're starting to come to know that about him and feed him in that way.
So how does he get open without that speed?
Well, not always open, but you throw it to him. He uses that body really well, and he's got very strong hands to catch the ball.
Run it again, and a good cut and a big hole for Freeman. First down inside the 25.
They put a little zone read. Again, I think Matt Ryan a little jealous, but there's no read in this. Hand it to the professional. Let him do the work. And that's exactly what Devontae Freeman does. A huge hole. This offensive line doing a really nice job for the Atlanta Falcons.
Freeman ran it 25 times for 56 yards last week. It's obviously not a good average, but they stuck with it. And they're doing the same thing today. 12 carries, just 35 yards, but they're committed to the run, and they're in this game, obviously. Quick throw, Jones, and Norman makes a whale of a play. We've got a game break. Let's check in with Mike Hill.
Guys,
Todd Bowles and company.
You watch this at the end of this play. Progress, Kevin. Josh Norman brings down Julio Jones, and if you stick with it long enough, gives Julio a little tap on the back. He learned from last week as well.
Yeah, there you go. The loss of 4 to 2nd and 14. 4-man rush to going back to Jones. And Jones going to get down to the 22. It's a gain of 6.
Well, you talk about being physical at the wide receiver position. Watch how Julio gets open. Get off me, and then I'm going inside. That's where Julio Jones, just the total package, strength, speed, size, he's got it all.
Falcons today on 3rd down are 6 of 8. And so Freeman comes to the sidelines. They've got DeMarco in there at fullback, but he's a weapon out of the backfield now. Keep your eye on him, number 42. 3rd and 8. 4-man rush. Ryan in trouble, and now he's going to be sacked. K'Wan Short again. That's number 11 on the year for the defensive tackle.
You know, tremendous coverage downfield. They're playing a zone defense, and Thomas Davis just lurking, feeling Julio Jones, Roman Harper all over Tammy, and then K'Wan Short. See the other side of the field, and that much time, a guy like K'Wan Short, he's going to finish the deal. 11 sacks. What great production from the interior of this Carolina defense.
But they have a chance with Shane Graham, who has been perfect since signing with Atlanta. There's a 43-yard field goal to give the Falcons the lead, and this one is no good. Not sure if anybody got a hand on it or what happened.
That was ugly, Kevin. Woo.
Well, maybe a little hand, but it's no good. 7-all. Watch 10 replays. I still don't know if this was blocked or not.
Well, you know what? This is like my drive on hole number 1, just a straight shank. The pull hook, and it darn near takes Star Lotulele's head off. Contact after on the kicker, but blocked into him. So just a poor strike by Shane Graham.
And so Atlanta wastes a good drive, and Cam Newton back on the field. A little zone read and a long pitch out here. That is going to get some big-time yards to Jericho Cotchery. Well, zone read, a little flip to the wide receiver.
I love the system that Mike Shula has created and the offensive staff for Carolina has created to take advantage of the many skills of Cam Newton. And again, defending the whole field. Okay, you're going to take the dive. Cam Newton, smart to get it out to Cotchery. Big yards. Those are big chunks of yardage, utilizing the skills of their star player.
Newton going to throw. Let's go to the tight end, Greg Olsen, who lowers his shoulder down to the 40. He's got a first down for the Panthers.
Very methodical in their approach. They start establishing the run, then the play action. It's just everything. They have an answer for everything. If you do this, they're going to do that, and it makes for a really tough offense to stop. Atlanta did a great job in the first half. They did a great job pressuring Cam Newton.
Yeah, they did. This is an Atlanta team that last in the league in sacks. They've got a couple today and some pressure. Here's Tolbert, and he rolls over Stupar. And he's down to the 34-yard line, so he picks up 6 yards, does Mike Tolbert. This offensive line, you take it back to last year, and they were trying to figure it out, John. And now a quick snap. Cam Newton would get a flag. I don't know if they were set, but Newton gets by everybody, and he's got a first down and inside the 20.
Atlanta had about 15 guys on the field, so you're going to have too many guys on the field. Great job by Cam Newton. Look at all these guys. Oh my God. It's like a herd of Falcons.
Illegal substitution. 12 men in defense. Penalties decline. First down.
Cam talked to us the other day about dictating with tempo. He said we don't want to be chaotic, but we want to be quick, because that puts us in the role of dictating as opposed to being dictated to. And so you keep talking about answers. They've got so many ways they can beat you, and that's why they're just so hard to stop.
If they don't substitute, see the Falcons, they do this all game long. They like to play everybody. But if the offensive team doesn't substitute, you're not given the right to substitute. So you got to get them on and ready before the snap. And Newton realized it's smart play. And so that
Fouls, both by the defense, both declined.
All right.
Maybe they threw a flag. If they threw a flag for everybody on the field, they might have 10 flags.
So 1st and 10 now for Carolina from the 16, and a tie game here in the 3rd quarter. At zone read, Newton keeps tripped up. Beasley, the rookie, got him.
Talk about a zone read. This is like a zone read because he stays with it forever, just trying to get everything. They fumbled on that very play. That's one that takes a lot of cohesion. It takes a lot of time on task. They don't have it, so got to be careful there.
Brown in motion. Newton running to the right, and he dives down to the 15. Short game. And now it's going to be a 3rd down. Now, I meant to get into the talk about the line for Cam kind of quick snap this. So, they were kind of in flux last year trying to figure it out. And this line, all of a sudden, 2 Pro Bowlers, and then they bring in Michael Orr, who was kind of down and maybe thought he could be out. He's turned into a real leader for this team. All of a sudden, they've got one of the best lines in the league.
It's one of the things I like about Ron Rivera and Dave Gettleman. They don't worry about what happened to a guy at another place. If they have history, they think he's got talent, they bring him in. They've done so with Ted Ginn. They kind of rehabbed Michael Orr's career. He's been absolutely integral to their success at that left tackle spot.
And hang on. We get a timeout. Play clock was running down. Panthers talk it over, trying to put it in the end zone. 7-all. Aerial coverage provided by Nationwide as we give you these great looks here from Atlanta. 7-7 game, 39 Panthers from the 15. And here's the end of this last play.
Cam Newton didn't like it. He thinks that Vic Beasley, who was actually blocked into him by Trey Turner. What you love about this Carolina offensive line, you just talked about him, Kevin. When Cam Newton goes down, they're right there to pick him up.
Panthers need to get inside the 7 for a 1st down. Newton, 4-man pressure. Beasley makes a move. Newton scanning, and he's just going to throw it away. So again, this Falcon pressure has been an issue. We have a penalty flag. Hang on at the 24. It's going to be on Carolina.
Holding, offense, number 74. Penalty declined. 4th down.
I wondered for a second if Dan Quinn thought at all about accepting that.
Push him back out of field goal range. But Vic Beasley, this guy has played really well, and he's who drew the holding penalty on Rimmers. And that's something a lot of people have been talking about, his lack of production. I'll tell you something, when I turn on the film, though, he may not have the sacks. He had 3 coming into today. But what he does, he affects the quarterback. He's going to get stronger. I think they got a heck of a player. He's got that great first step you're looking for an edge rusher, and I think his future is very bright with the Atlanta Falcons.
This is a 33-yard field goal for Gano, and he is good. So the Panthers retake the lead with 5:26 to go in the 3rd. It's 10-7 Carolina. Panthers retake the lead. Graham Gano, 33-yard field goal. It's been a good game, defensive game for sure. As Carolina trying to go to 15-0, becoming just the 2nd team in history to do that. And more importantly, trying to lock up home field throughout the playoffs. They don't have that yet. And so Atlanta will start on their own 20. The kick going out of bounds. We'll see Matt Ryan and company back on the field, down 3 in the 3rd. (10-7) Panthers in front here in Atlanta. Julio Jones and Josh Norman. That's the matchup to watch, and it's been heating up in this second half.
Yeah, it's been a good one. And Julio Jones displaying his speed, and Josh Norman respecting it. But Josh Norman, a great finisher, having a fantastic year. Competing, it's been very physical. Josh Norman, just a little give and take, but what you like, a little sportsmanship to the one-on-one matchup. Little pat on the backside from Josh Norman.
After all that happened last week with Odell Beckham, Julio Jones told us that Norman's never trash-talked him at all on the field. As a quick handoff, Falcons staying with the run, but a short gain for Freeman. Ball's loose. I don't see a call on the field. Roman Harper comes out of there with it. Let's watch.
Was that peanut punch? Charles Tillman going after that ball.
Ruling on the field is down by contact prior to the loose ball. Second down at Atlanta.
Well,
maybe this is a better angle, and
he's down. He is down. But Charles Tillman had another one last week. 44 forced fumbles in his career. It's a skill. They call it the peanut punch, and it's just remarkable the way he's able to do it.
Second down, they'll fake blitz coming. Ryan gets rid of it, and he's got a completion for a first down to Tammy, who then gets hit backwards, but his initial progress should be right. But Matt Ryan took a shot, and he is down on the ground. Thomas Davis came in on the blitz.
Wow. Ooh. You want to know why quarterbacks make the big bucks. You're going to see the blitz by Thomas Davis. Matt Ryan knowing he's going to take a hit, and Thomas Davis uncoils to the side of Matt Ryan.
He's taken some shots today. Kurt Coleman got him before, now Davis. But it is a first down. From the 33, he trips, and he's going to be down. Tried to get it to Freeman on the exchange, but got tripped up.
On these wide zone plays, the quarterback really has to get the ball deep and to the side, and it doesn't help when your center's being pushed back into you. But that's what Star Lotulelei does, winning the line of scrimmage in that matchup. Takes the center right back into Matt Ryan.
So a loss of 4. Four-man rush. Ryan comes near side. Freeman makes a catch, a low catch, but hit immediately by Shaq Thompson. Let's get a game break from Mike Hill.
Once down.
I mean, you didn't think that Jets fans were going to have a walk against the Patriots, did you? 3rd and 13 for Atlanta. 2.5 to go in this third quarter. They've been great today and all year in this area. Got to get to the 43. Pocket collapsing. Ryan rolling, looking. Just going to throw it deep for Jones. Double coverage. Oh, what a catch! Touchdown! To Jones. Ridiculous.
Just throw it up and give him a chance. Julio Jones running downfield, going against one of the great players in football, and Luke Kuechly. Matt Ryan says, go deep. This is like on the streets in Philly. And Julio Jones up and over, posterizes Luke Kuechly. What a play by a great, great player in Julio Jones.
That was unbelievable.
That is special.
Wow. 70 yards to Julio Jones. His 8th touchdown of the year, and the Falcons in front of the Panthers. Rams extra point is good. And all of a sudden the unbeaten Panthers down by 4 for one of the plays of the year. Matt Ryan. Oh yeah. My goodness. Sometimes it looks like you have Julio Jones covered, and then you really don't. That was one of the sickest catches I've seen in a long time.
And what a tough drive by Matt Ryan. Getting hit, but getting up and delivering to Julio Jones.
And a kick by Bosher out of bounds. You talked about Ryan. He's taken some shots today. And that was a third down, John, that he makes this play.
Well, this is earlier in the drive. Knowing he's going to get hit, but hanging tough. Mike Smith, his old head coach, used to call him the tough Irishman. Knows he's going to take another one. Launches it up to Julio Jones. And that is just supreme athleticism. What a player.
You've been begging for them to throw deep to Julio Jones. And Ryan says, yeah, they finally throw it up. He makes the play. So Jones now 8 catches, 148 yards with that touchdown. A team record for the Falcons. And now Atlanta trying to smell the upset. The 14-0 Panthers trailing. They did trail earlier this year against the Saints, but they haven't been in this position in a while. Cam sets up a screen to Whitaker. Nice one-handed catch in the burst. And surging forward across the 24. Whitaker's going to pick up nearly 5.
I got to tell you, Dan Quinn, regardless of the outcome, he's going to be proud. This team's growing up here today in this kind of fight. Probably overmatched, although it didn't look like it on that last play from Julio Jones. But as a team, likely overmatched. But they are hustling to the football. They're playing with great effort, great desire. This is how you grow up when you're trying to turn around a franchise.
Second down and 6. Newton firing to Kotchery. And Alford there to make a quick tackle. No gain. Maybe a half yard, that's it. So a third down is coming up.
They stress you. We talked about defending the entire field. You're going to be on one-on-one matchups, and you better make the tackle if you want to beat them. Robert Alford says, I'm up to the task.
Third down. Newton. Time. Gonna tuck it and run. And look at Newton making plays, taken down hard, but he's got a first down. Philip Wheeler with the tackle, but not before Cam moved the chains.
Yeah, I can't tell you, I've been in this situation, how disheartening that is as a defense. You do everything correct. You cover, you rush after them. Adrian Claiborne, most quarterbacks go down right there with that swipe, not this guy. He gets the first down, and that is so disheartening as a defense, but you got to come right back at him.
Newton's got 46 yards rushing and a touchdown today. 92 yards passing. First down. Four-man rush. Kotchery again over the middle. Out to the 35, to the 36, where he's got 6 on first down. And the end of quarter number 3. After the huge play to Jones, the Falcons smelling the upset. Can they pull it off? We're back with the fourth quarter on Fox. So we go to the fourth quarter with the Falcons up 14-10 on the 14-0 Panthers. And remember, Carolina trying to lock up home field in the playoffs. They haven't done that yet. Here's the good news for the Panthers. Cam went trailing this year, which hasn't been much, but he's been spectacular.
Not only has he been phenomenal all year, but he does so when it matters most, on big downs in big territories like the red zone. And right there, when trailing, he's at his best.
2nd and 5 here. From the Atlanta 36, Artis Payne looking for room and got a short gain. You know, you go back to last week against the Giants. They blew a 35-7 lead, and then Conley, he gets the ball with 1:46 left and just very easily goes down for the winning field goal. Cam.
Yeah, and I asked him about that mindset, what he said to the guys in the huddle. He said nothing needed to be said. We had to go execute. We were confident. He put on full display his arm and his talent as a runner, and they ended up kicking the game-winning kick.
Cam has run it 7 times today. 3 of them have been for first downs. 3rd and 4. 4-man pressure. Newton firing. Tipped incomplete. Well, that bounce in and out of Corey Brown and almost was picked off by Alford. But instead it's an incomplete. And Carolina will punt.
And look, Kevin, this was a catchable ball. This should be caught. A little bit behind, though. And I'm telling you, the cumulative effect of the hits on Cam Newton, the pressure, it takes an effect on every quarterback, and it's affecting his accuracy. This defense of Dan Quinn's and the Atlanta Falcons has been terrific today.
The even tougher part, John, is if Arizona wins later, they've got to play their guys next week to lock up that home field. Here's the punt. Hester let it go and takes a good Carolina bounce into the end zone. So Atlanta will have it on their own 20 after a 63-yard punt. But the Falcons playing tough today. And they've got the lead over Carolina 14-10 here in the 4th. Hold on, we get a penalty way back at the 35. What's here, John Perry?
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 81. Half the distance to the goal, 1st and 10, timeout.
All right, that's on Moeaki, the tight end. That'll move him back to the 10. Now we'll take that break. Atlanta football when we come back. Carolina Panthers trying to lock up home field in these playoffs. They don't have it yet because the Cardinals can technically still get it. There's the playoff picture right now. Washington clinched the NFC East with a win last night. Falcons still in the mix. And they're winning today, trying to pull off the upset. And here's Matt Ryan. Julio Jones breaking free. And they've turned him loose.
So, Kevin, it's not only the play, that last one when he threw it up, it's the effect it has on a defense. Watch Josh Norman. He's saying, I got to get deep because this guy's going to outrun me, and that opens up the intermediate passing game. That's why you got to throw it deep, because that guy, number 11, is a special, special player.
Julio Jones, 9 catches, 178 yards. He had 4 for 51 in the first half. Big day for Jones. First down from the 40. They're going to give it to Freeman. Breaks a tackle. Good run. Devontae Freeman. He's out near the 49-yard line.
Devontae Freeman, Kevin. You got people in position. Good players. Charles Johnson's a very good player. Excuse me, that's Coney Ely. But he makes people miss. He's got tremendous quickness, speed, power. And that's what the great backs do. They run through tackles. They make people miss. Devontae Freeman, he's really emerging as a big-time player for the Atlanta Falcons.
Made his first Pro Bowl in his second year in the league. 2nd down and 1. Give it to him again, and he had nowhere to go. Boy, Carolina collapsed that thing in an absolute hurry. Thomas Davis, K'Wan Short in the middle of that for this Panthers defense. And Atlanta now with a 3rd down, where they've been excellent all year, and today they're 7 of 10, including that 70-yard touchdown to Julio Jones moments ago. Jones and Norman, that's the matchup. They'll be at the bottom of your screen. Freeman to run, and he's got it in end zone. Devontae Freeman sprinting forward inside the 40. And he's going to pick up 14 and a first down.
Dan Quinn talked about this is going to be a line of scrimmage game. This is winning the line of scrimmage. Watch this. Getting people moving. Hats on hats, and then let Devontae Freeman. Great block by Tammy. Devontae Freeman in space. Receivers drop, blocking downfield. Great football by the Atlanta Falcons.
Staying with this run is Freeman. That's his longest run of the day. We'll do it again. Running left, not much. Speed of this Carolina defense just so good. Think about this, John. I mean, Panthers have won 5 of 6 in this series. The last 2 games, they've outscored Atlanta 72-3. And then you have this today.
And that's why I'm telling you, this is going to be huge in the growth of the Atlanta Falcons. They aren't there yet personnel-wise under a new coach. They've got to get the personnel to match his schemes. but this is where you develop the grit. Remember in Tampa when it was the Green Bay Packers on top and we kept coming closer. That's how you grow as a team.
Blitz. Ryan gets rid of it. Tammy's got the kick, and he's taken down at the 31. He's going to pick up about 6 on the play.
You talk about their speed, Carolina. That's Shaq Thompson, first-round draft pick. Embarrassment of riches at the linebacker. You got Kuechly and Thomas Davis, and then, oh yeah, let's go add Shaq Thompson. Speed all over the field.
Shaq Thompson actually started 3 games at running back at Washington last year, so the guy's got all kinds of ability. Number 54. Another third down. 8 of 11 Atlanta on these third downs. They are in field goal range, even though they missed the last one. And we get flags everywhere.
False start, offense number 67, 5-yard penalty, third down.
And now they're not in field goal range.
Those are the mistakes you can't make against a great team. And Matt Ryan, I was watching it. When you go in motion and the corner runs with you, that means man-to-man. He had the matchup he wanted. Julio Jones in the slot against Josh Norman. But the false start now makes it a really tough 3rd and 10.
Yeah. And Shane Graham, who missed his first field goal since being signed to replace the injured Matt Bryant in this game, he does not have a big leg. Well, this is really pushing it here. Right on, bad snap. He didn't realize it was coming. It's loose. Norman picks it up for the Panthers. The defense makes a huge play. Number 1 in the league in turnovers is Carolina, and they get one at a big time.
So 2 mistakes. We had the false start. And then the snap that goes right by Matt Ryan. Josh Norman there to scoop it up. Good hustle play by Levitra to bring him down.
He just missed it, or was he not ready for that? I couldn't tell.
It looked like he was ready. It looked like it was a decent snap. Just went right by him.
Wow.
Yeah, he's ready. Just got a fastball and a little high and outside. He couldn't catch it.
And now, so here comes Carolina. Down by 4, 9:27 to go, without a blemish on their record all year. From the 37 they begin. Newton over the middle. There's Olsen inside the 30. And he's going to pick up 9 yards on first down. Talk about capitalizing on mistakes. Best in the league, not only at getting the turnovers, but scoring off them. Fozzie Whitaker, the back, on a 2nd and 1. Zone read, Whitaker wrapped up, and he is going to lose. Nice job by Rashid Hageman, who's made a couple plays here today.
This defensive line's been impressive for the Atlanta Falcons. You talk about the growth. Beasley coming alive. Rashid Hageman coming. These are young guys they can build with. And when you're going toe-to-toe with the best team in the league, this is where you grow as a team, as individuals. And Hageman just owning that line of scrimmage.
Fozzie Whitaker is a Panther down. Did not get up after that play. Trainer's out. Take a look at the Panthers running back. 3rd down and 3 for Carolina, and that's a sad scene. Fozzie Whitaker, their 3rd down back, limping off with some help. And so Tolbert in the game, a running back here. Newton, pressure, Olsen can't make the play. More pressure from Atlanta. Vic Beasley was there again.
Well, Beasley having his coming out party here as a pro, putting pressure on all day long. They've got the matchup, Cam does, and Greg Olsen outrunning Godfrey, but an errant throw because of the pressure from Beasley.
Now a 47-yard field goal try from Graham Gano to bring Carolina within one. He's hit one today. Remember, he's had 4 field goals blocked. This has been an area of concern for Carolina. 47-yard try. It's up from Gano. It's long enough, and it is good. And so the Panthers capitalize a field goal off the turnover, but the Atlanta D holds. Cam hit on that big third down throw. 1 point, Falcons lead. They're looking for the upset. Carries. All right, so 14-13 Atlanta. Carolina off the turnover, John. The field goal, but the Atlanta D holds. Deep kick, and Hester looking to take it out, looking to make a play. Out across the 22, the 21. So he nets a yard on that return. So the Falcons still mathematically alive. And what has to happen for them to finish 9-7 and get in the playoffs? Well, other than that, Vikings and Seahawks need to lose their last 2 games. 49ers must win 1 of their last 2 games. They're trailing today. Buccaneers must beat Chicago today. They're trailing. What else? Denver must beat San Diego in week 17. So there's a 1.26% chance to make the playoffs.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Unbelievable.
Hey, there still is a chance, and the bottom line is maybe their best game today against an undefeated Panther team. Ryan blitz picked up, throwing and completing to Roddy White, who's got a catch out to the 36.
You posed the question earlier, Kevin, how does he get open? He wasn't open, but throw it to him because he's got a great history. He's earned the trust of Matt Ryan. Not a whole lot of separation here. Charles Tillman all over him, but he has a great ability to use that body, and he catches the ball. That's how you earn the trust of your quarterback.
There was the peanut punch at the end, John. He tried, but White held on. Pick up a 15. From the 36, pressure. Ryan steps away, shovels it. Freeman, what a play. Freeman making people miss and then lunging forward. He lost the ball for a second, it looked like, but he's got it, and he's got a first down and a gain of 13.
What a great play by Matt Ryan. First of all, getting rid of that ball. Cody Ely was all over him, quickly beating Chris Chester. He eludes him. Here comes Kuechly, shovels it out, and Devontae Freeman in space is tough to deal with.
I was wondering if he bobbled this at the end here. Nope. Coleman just came in and tried to knock it away. Arthur Blank, owner of the Falcons, he's liking that. He's liking this. Falcons up 1, 6.5 to play. Trying to hand the Panthers their first defeat. They'll run it. Freeman. Good. Oh! And Freeman has another first down. And the run game starting to pay dividends now as Freeman's got 18 for 71 on the ground.
Kevin, I hope it shows on TV because in person, this burst is impressive. You give this kid, Devontae Freeman, a little space. Great block by Chris Chester. And watch him burst through that hole. Very, very impressive by the offensive line and then by Devontae Freeman hitting it north and south.
Teron Ward in the game as Freeman gets a breather. Another first down for Atlanta to stay with the run. And Ward, he gets belted. Nowhere to run. K'Wan Short again. He's already got 2 sacks in the game.
And that's what you appreciate about K'Wan Short. He does it in the pass game, obviously, with all the sacks, 11 sacks on the year, but a force, the force in the middle of that defense against the run all year long.
Cam Newton waiting patiently. Matt Ryan is having quite the game. 20 of 26, 278 yards and a touchdown. He spread it around to 5 different receivers. And now a timeout for the Falcons as time was winding down on the clock. 1 point Atlanta lead. Here from Atlanta, Falcons trying to add to their lead. 14-13, under 5 minutes to play. Second down and 13. Blitz. Ryan sees it, gets rid of it to Freeman, trying to make a move, but Kuechly corrals it. So he's down to the 38, gain of 5, and a third down coming up.
Sean McDermott, the defensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers, right there brought the blitz simply to get the ball out of Matt Ryan's hands. He wants the ball out, and he wants it out now. That's one way to take Julio Jones out of the game.
There's McDermott upstairs here in the Georgia Dome. 3rd and 9. Atlanta bears repeating. 8 of 12 on third down today. They've been great. Empty set, blitz again. Ryan sees it, unloads. Roddy White has the catch, and he's got a first down. Oh, Matt Ryan has been terrific. On the money against the blitz, and it's 16 yards to White.
Matt Ryan hanging tough and delivering a dart in traffic. 3 Panthers around, but in that soft spot of the zone defense. And Roddy White, as he always has been, fearless going across the middle.
This is one of White's best games of the year. He had 4 catches, 84 yards in the opener, 6 for 60 against Minnesota. He's got 5 for 67 here today. And Matt Ryan, 12 straight completions on a first down. Freeman tripped up and nowhere to go. Sometimes you make the first 2 miss, but Carolina's so fast. Kuechly was there for the third man, he and Coleman. That's Matt Ryan, 12 in a row. The big play on third down, hitting Julio Jones for a 70-yard touchdown. But he has taken some shots.
He's been tough. He's standing in there, has taken big shots. It looked like it was hurting him earlier on that hip or his side, but he's hanging tough, and the competitor in Matt Ryan's coming out.
Play clock at 1. They get it off. Ryan across the middle, dropped. 5th drop today for Atlanta. That's Devontae Freeman. Should have had it.
This is something that Devontae Freeman does very well. He can line up and he can run the entire route tree as a wide receiver. He's got Thomas Davis. That's a matchup the Falcons like. Matt Ryan a little low with the ball, but that's a ball that Devontae Freeman knows he should have made.
All right, so that incompletion not only drop but stops the clock, and now 3rd and 14. Ryan over the middle, almost dropped again by Hardy, the rookie, but he corrals it, and he's down to the 19, shy of a first down. It's certainly within field goal range, and a timeout on the field. Ron Rivera is going to call it, otherwise that would have ticked all the way down to the 2-minute warning. So it'll be on Shane Graham trying to give Atlanta a 4-point lead when we come back. So Shane Graham will attempt a field goal, which will put Atlanta up 4, but he's missed one today, and it wasn't pretty.
No, he had the shank hook, and he pulled it hard, and it darn near took the head off Star Lotulelei. But Shane Graham has been a dependable guy over the years, and we'll see if he can come through and extend this Falcon lead.
8 of 9 with the Falcons. They signed in to replace the injured Matt Bryant on IR. Atlanta put together a nice drive there. 9 plays, 60 yards, but now Graham. See Brian Cox trying to keep it light with Dan Quinn. That was pretty funny.
They're having fun. They're competing. And Dan Quinn, as I said throughout, and Brian Cox knows it, they're growing. Whatever happens today, they got better today. But they want to finish this thing off.
37-yard field goal. Bosher the hold. This time Graham is money. And so the Panthers will need a touchdown with just over 2 minutes to go from Atlanta if they want to remain unbeaten. Cam Newton rallying the troops. Can he pull it off? It's been a while for Carolina since they've lost. It has been a while. They've been absolutely spectacular in the regular season. They are the 4th team to start 14-0 to a season. The Dolphins went on to win the Super Bowl. All others, Patriots and Colts, went to the Super Bowl and lost. And now the Panthers just trying to stay unbeaten. They're going to need a touchdown with 2:23 to go. And it's on the shoulders of Cam Newton like it has been all year. Would you want it any other way?
Now similar to last week, momentum had shifted in New York. Up 35-7. They come back 35-35. And Cam Newton said, we've got this. He put his team on his back. We'll see if he can get that done.
Bosher's kick is taken by Webb basically at the end line. And so Cam Newton and company will start on their own 20. And see if he can pull off another come from behind victory. Was a high school star here in Atlanta.
Kevin, part of the secret of the success today, the longest reception for the Carolina Panthers, 15 yards. They haven't allowed him to throw the football downfield, which the Panthers thrive on as an offense.
Fans are into it. Carolina 1 timeout in the 2-minute warning. 4-man rush. Near side, there's Tolbert. Good catch. And he's got a first down. Out across the 30 is Tolbert, stepping out of bounds as well to stop the clock. Fozzie Whitaker, we saw him get hurt last series. An ankle, will not return.
The difference from last week, tie score, obviously a field goal did it. Today, they need the touchdown, so they're going to have to go the distance. But you just kind of have a good feeling when you got that guy with the ball in his hands.
You mentioned, John, the longest pass they've had today, 15 yards. Ted Ginn, their big play man, just 1 catch for 9 yards. Newton pressure, hit as he throws. Oh, Tolbert, a one-hander. And he makes the catch out to the 37 before Wheeler brings him down to gain of 5. Let's see, running down to the 2-minute warning, and they will not get another playoff. Look at that.
That's where it helps to be 6'5" and 250 pounds. You kind of shoo defensive linemen off you. What a catch by Tolbert.
14-0 Panthers trying to come on back. Well, this is what's on the line. 3rd longest winning streak in NFL history. 18 straight wins for the Panthers. 14-0 this year. And just remember, they haven't clinched home field yet, so you could bet the Cardinals are pretty excited about what's going on here now. But not over. Carolina has 1 timeout left. 2 minutes to go. They need a touchdown. 2nd and 5. 4-man rush. Newton with all kinds of time. Fires for Cotchery. Incomplete. Phillip Adams on the play. Now a 3rd down.
Good pressure all day long. It continues. They're pushing the pocket. They're getting around Cam Newton. And the guys downfield are doing a nice job of not allowing the ball over the top of the defense.
They responded when pressed against the Saints. They responded when pressed against the Giants. Down 4 here. Fakes the run over the middle. Incomplete. I think it was Durant who jumped up and got it at middle linebacker. And now 4th down.
Got to give Durant credit, but also give Desmond Trufant. He's been a one-on-one with Ted Ginn all day, and he's kept him quiet. Watch Durant just looking at the eyes of Newton. Getting that hand on that ball.
Dan Quinn told us we are absolutely jacked to play this game. Can his Falcons finish the deal? Unbeaten on the line on a 4th down. Newton over the middle, incomplete. No flags.
Tell you what, Kevin, you talked about they were going to be jacked. You knew they were going to be ready. My thought was being ready is not good enough. The energy's not good enough because the other team's better, but they stood up to the Carolina Panthers and give so much credit to the Atlanta Falcons again. Consistent pressure, collapsing the pocket, and good coverage by the former Panther Godfrey on Greg Olsen.
So now Atlanta will try and run this out. Carolina just one timeout left. And we get a whistle. And movement on Atlanta. So let me ask you this. Look, this has been a hard-fought game. This Atlanta defense played great. But is there any weakness that has shown up from Carolina the last couple weeks?
Well, you know, I think today when Ted Ginn's not involved down the field, all right, who's the weapon for Carolina? They've shut down Olsen pretty well today. But I think the biggest thing that has developed with Ben Wickery, their starting corner, going out, they got players I really respect in Tillman, in Cortland Finnegan, and Roman Harper. But those guys are old, and this is a young man's game. I think New York Giants and Eli Manning, they exposed that a little bit, as did the Atlanta Falcons today.
Here's Freeman, and time is called. Carolina will use their final timeout. Let's go back and look at that fourth down play one more time.
And again, this one-on-one matchup happened a lot in practice. Charles Godfrey, the former Panther, he gets physical with Olsen all over him. And Cam Newton wanting to go to his best receiving target, but Godfrey just won that matchup.
Arthur Blank, owner of the Falcons. Oh, this is a signature win for Dan Quinn. That's the bottom line. You know what? I know what you think of Dan Quinn coming here trying to turn this program around. And they've had a rough go after a great start, but this is an offense in Carolina that is #1 in the league, averaging over 32 points a game. Freeman again will get the carry. Another penalty, which would stop the clock here on Atlanta. But when you consider that Carolina hasn't turned the ball over, Atlanta D has held them to 262 total
illegal
yards.
formation offense, number 81, cover number 80. Penalties decline. Result of the play, third down.
Kevin, we showed a graphic earlier today to open the broadcast. The last 5 games, I mean, they have been putting up points in droves, averaging 38 points, I believe, per game over those 5 weeks.
Yes.
13 points on the board today. That's a great effort by this Falcon defense.
And again, no turnover, so it's not like they've given it away. They've just struggled. And consider the opening drive. Carolina went right down the field and made it look easy. And you're thinking, man, this could be another long day. But just 2 field goals since that opening drive. A credit to this Atlanta defense. Third down and 10. Freeman, another flag. Tell you what, stopping the clock, and this is going to allow Carolina to get the ball.
Holding.
With plenty of time.
Number 68, penalties decline, fourth down.
I mean, this should have been a gimme run-out situation. Carolina only had 1 timeout left. Wow.
There's Pearson, the center. Just got to let him go at some point. All you're trying to do is run clock.
You know, this is unbelievable. John, the way it played out, Carolina may have gotten the ball back with like 9-10 seconds. They're getting it with 1:35. I mean, here we are right in the postscript to this thing. And now they're going to try a really long field goal.
Ted Ginn back there to return it.
54 yards for Shane Graham. Wow, this is gutsy. Graham, long field goal would be a career long. And he's got it. Thank goodness I'm not a head coach.
That's for Ron Rivera.
Well, Carolina will still get the ball back with a chance to tie. A career long for Graham.
Well, these Atlanta Falcons, Dan Quinn, they're having fun. They got off to such a hot start at 5-0. Came back to reality a little bit. They've been really struggling. They eked one out last week and they carried it over. Shane Graham with authority. I mean, he drilled that.
You surprised they didn't punt there?
I was.
I mean, that's pretty good. And Shane Graham's been a veteran and a good player in this league for a long time, but he's the guy they signed to replace their normal kicker. And Dan Quinn showing confidence. But it's still not over because now Carolina gets the ball back. Down 7, no timeouts. This is a minute 30 here. A lot of time. It's a wild finish. I mean, after that 4th down stop, I think, okay, run the clock out. All the penalty stops and then a career-long field goal. And now still a chance for Carolina. With a decent amount of time left, no timeouts. Bosher. Webb should take a knee here. Oh, he's going to take it out? No, he will take a knee. That would have not been a good decision. And so one more chance for Cam and Greg Olsen and company. Reminder, America's Game of the Week is coming up. It's Green Bay in Arizona. Most of the country will see that one, and that's with Joe, Troy, and Aaron. That'll be big. You know that Arizona's looking at the scoreboard waiting for this one to end because the Cardinals still have an outside shot at home field advantage if the Panthers do not win one of these next 2.
I tell you what needs to happen right about now if you're Carolina. You got to tell that O-line, let's firm this protection up, and you got to tell Ted Ginn it's time to come alive. Greg Olsen, we got to get the ball down the field a little bit.
So one more chance for Cam Newton when he thought this game was going to be over. He has time here. He fires here, and he's got a completion to Corey Brown. Drilled down at about the 39. Clock is running. No timeouts.
It all started with better protection. Cam had the time to step up and find Corey Brown.
They don't spike here. It's going to run a play. Get it off relatively quickly. Newton in trouble. Hit. Ball's loose. Recovered. Atlanta. Game over.
Talked early about Vic Beasley's coming out party, and he just put a bow on it because he's the one who came around the edge and stripped that ball from Cam Newton. Vic Beasley has really put a great effort forth.
Beasley stripped Claiborne the recovery.
There's Beasley working against Rimmers. Pure speed and power, puts his hand on the ball. That's what they thought they were drafting when they took Vic Beasley, number 8 from Clemson. It's taken him a while, but he shows why they entrusted him with that pick in a big way.
And now, barring 3 more penalties, Atlanta will have a chance to seal this deal. No timeouts left for Carolina. Matt Ryan take a knee and run this thing out. And so the Panthers' undefeated season will come to a halt.
Great effort by Matt Ryan, by Vic Beasley, by this entire Atlanta team, and Dan Quinn. He was so excited for this game. He said, I want to see our best against their best. Not so sure it was Carolina's best, but this is the best I've seen Atlanta all year.
And so Atlanta still alive mathematically for the playoffs. What an upset, what a win for Dan Quinn and these Atlanta Falcons. First time Carolina has lost since last November. 14-1. They're still having some season, but perfection comes to an end. What a game for the Falcons. They pull off the upset 20-13 here in Atlanta. The State Farm post-game show, Kurt Menefee and the guys, comes your way right now.